Welcome to the Buffalo Futures podcast, where we're centering youth voice to create a stronger support network for the youth in our community. I am your guest host, Nia Warren, and I'm here today with all of our lovely peers and our peer mentor. And today we'll be talking about the life experiences of youth through their eyes and everything that they have to say about relationships, their experience in workforce, and much more. So let's get into it, y'all. So starting off, let's introduce ourselves because I think everybody has been here before, but let's just make it known. I want to start here on this couch and let's move it around.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Mikey. Michael Hunley is my full name, and I'm 16. I go to MST, and I'm a part of student government, you know what I'm saying, Buffalo Futures, and yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Raynelle Hunley. I'm 21, and I'm a young entrepreneur. Work hard. I'm a part of Buffalo Futures.
Sorry. Period. Hey everyone, my name is Kayla Welch. I am an entrepreneur as well, a hairstylist, and I'm a part of Buffalo Futures.
And Kayla actually hasn't been on the podcast yet.
Period. You haven't.
No, this is my first time.
Period, girl.
As y'all know, I'm Leah, the usual host, but now I get to sit back and be interviewed myself. I love it.
How old are you, Leah?
Oh, 19.
Period.
Period.
Great. So I'm glad y'all shared your ages because that's actually what we... I'm glad you guys shared your ages and everything like that because it actually plays into the next question that I want to ask you, which is, due to your age, do you feel like there are many adults in your life or people older than you that really value your voice or value your opinion on things?
Yes, I feel like there are lots of people that want to hear my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like in school, I know like all my teachers, they like different things that they want to do for the class. They might ask for like my opinion on help, or like since I'm a part of student government, I give my input on like all of the things that we do in school. Like I help with the field day. Like we had a carnival there, and yeah, I participated in most of that. So I feel like there are lots of voices out there.
Great.
I would say so, yes. Especially being a part of Buffalo Futures. We're always working towards getting young people's voices and learning what they need and what they see fit for the community.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I stole my stuff, so but definitely like they're from the youth council. Like the whole thing is built off of like listening to youth voices. So yeah. Those definitely.
Okay. And so like when you have that validation and like there are people that are older than you that you can like see as mentors or like gauge like what success is for yourself, how does that play into your own personal development and what things are you looking to develop within yourselves within the next few years?
I would like to develop my independence, like being able to do things on my own, like
Period.
managing everything without having like assistance and things of that nature. I want to be able to know how to just do anything by myself. If I want to start a clothing brand, I know where to go to get the manufacturer. If I want to start being a DJ, I know where to get the equipment or where to start learning. And yeah.
That's a young man right there.
I love that.
Professional, independent. You want to go right now? Oh, I was just saying in the next few years, I definitely want to have a few houses that I'm like getting residual income from. So that's really gonna be big. And then like, you know, get like my podcast situated and like actually being like active on it. So
Well, I feel like in a few years, I want to have multiple businesses. I feel like ones that will definitely branch out on their own with me being behind the scenes and me also having other people able to work within that branch itself. So, entrepreneurship.
That's dope. In the next few years, I want to see myself having my own building, whether it be like a flea market, something good for the community. Also, I've been thinking about getting into working in the education. So I want to achieve that as well.
Wait, did you ever go to the flea market that was here before it closed down?
Like the Broadway?
Yeah, they said they're like, we were just talking in the office how there was a flea market here, but I was like, I didn't get to go. And he was like, it's closed down now. You ain't never gonna get to go. And I'm like, that's so sad. But I'm glad you're bringing it back, baby, because they were saying how like just Black businesses would like go and just like every day, just go there and you could just shop from so many people.
Yeah.
Like
I remember going in there with my grandma when I was like, yeah.
But so it's not open. Like you said, that's a Broadway one.
It's the Broadway Market right across the street from Aldi's.
It's still open, or are you saying no?
Broadway Market is open.
I think it's open, but it's not as much business as it was before.
It looks like it's closed down.
It
does. That's why I thought it was closed.
It does a little bit.
I thought it was closed.
Oh, y'all gotta
but
show
I
me.
think that it's like really honorable that you guys like have those visions and those goals for yourself. I'm not like too much older than you guys, so I feel like me personally, I will share that I feel like at my age, sometimes I do feel pressured to like have a plan and have goals and things like that. Like I want to gauge and see like where y'all are. Like, I don't know. Let's start with Kayla. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes your age really plays a role in how much pressure you put on yourself to accomplish things. Do you share those same ideas or thoughts in your mind?
Yes, I do. Especially, I feel like 24 is that age where it's like, okay, you're actually like, you've had your 21 stage, you know, that's the part where it's like, okay, you're starting to experience more things, you're starting to become an adult. But then it's like, once you get, I feel like 25 is the age where people expect you to have it all together. So it's like being 24, it's like, okay, I'm pushing it right there. But then it's like, I feel like that plays a part in you giving yourself grace and knowing that everybody's journey is literally time different. You can't compare yourself. And a lot of times this generation, they compare themselves to what other people have. And you can't do that because then you'll always feel like you're on the back burner. There's people who's 18, 19, you know, and I'm 24, they have more than me, or they're doing more, or, you know, like they're already in real estate with businesses and all of those things. So it's like, and those are places that I want to be. But I feel like it's really just, you have to be able to see your own vision and you have to be able to go for it yourself, and you can't compare yourself to other. It's not a competition. It's your race.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. Anybody else want to speak to that? Because I feel like she killed it with that.
She definitely did.
She cleared us all with that. Okay. So the other thing though with that plays a role is like you got to have boundaries for yourself, because I feel like a lot of times you have pressure because there are other aspects in your life and your environment, like at home, pressuring you to go for a certain career path or pressuring you to learn a certain trade. And the most like beneficial thing that I've learned where I am now is to say no, which is very, very hard.
Oh my gosh.
And so I just want to know, like, how do you guys set boundaries with other people in your life or with your peers, with your friend groups, to propel yourself forward? And is it hard saying no to them too?
I feel like you just gotta get used to saying no. Like you gotta experience it first. Like if somebody asks you something and like you really like don't want to do it, or like you not really messing with that crowd, then you just gotta say no. And by their reaction, you can tell like how you can move on forward. Like you just gotta find yourself, focus on yourself, and realize what standards you have, and you gotta value yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Terrell Mason. I'm the Senior Director of Buffalo Futures. Just here to shout out one of our sponsors, Tech Buffalo. Tech Buffalo is a nonprofit organization that strives to create sustainable, inclusive, and accessible technology community here in West New York. By doing so, by improving our region's ability to attract, retain, and foster technology talent. We really want to thank them for their generosity and for donating into Buffalo Futures and helping us to continue this work. And so to find out more information about Tech Buffalo and some of the opportunities they have, please visit techbuffalo.org.
I think, you know how like people like get into arguments and like, oh, I wish I should have said that. But like I do that in reverse. So it's like I practice the conversation before it happened. And so I'm like, okay, Leah, well, if you say no now, you'll have the courage to say no in front of them. Like, because I'm like, dang, I'd be so bold. But until I'm just like, dang, I should have said no. Like now I'm all in this stuff and I should not be here right now. Like whether it's just like trying to be too like helpful to other people that like I don't even got no time for me. You know what I mean? So even in that area where it's just like, dang, I should have practiced and just stuck with what I practiced. Like say no, Leah, say it right now.
Yeah. I feel like that's like like what Mikey said, as far as like knowing yourself.
Right.
Once you actually figure out who you are, like it's kind of like you have to dig deep within and be uncomfortable with you have to be comfortable with making other people uncomfortable, because a lot of times you make yourself uncomfortable just by agreeing or just by settling or just by saying yes to them because you want them to be comfortable. But sometimes those roles have to be switched, because it's like who comfortability really matters, you know? And it's like, that doesn't mean you do it in a rude way or in a nasty way or disrespectful way, but it's just simply that if I love myself enough or if I know myself enough, I'm not going to put myself in a situation just to make you feel comfortable. I think that's a lot of times what boundaries are. It's like, okay, I don't want to do this because I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. But if you know yourself, if you love yourself, you like, no, at the end of the day, this is my boundary, and a boundary is not an option. And I think a lot of times people feel like they want to pick and choose who they want to tell their boundary to, or pick and choose when they want to use their boundary. That's not a boundary. That's something that you want to, that's a to-do list that you want people to follow. You know, a boundary is set, and that's like, it's absolutely no. And you got to stand on that.
Yeah. That's good. Well, you
Kayla
all have
shooting
agreed.
today.
She
Like,
is.
She's eating
Up.
Yeah,
She
she
said,
got
"This
it.
is my first appearance, and they gonna remember."
Yes. We bringing them back, baby.
That energy.
Come on now.
With
Now,
all
that's
the
good.
energy.
She eating now. I'm gonna throw this curveball at you. Let me see how you handle this, since she's so good. So everybody here on this couch has agreed that they feel like their voice is heard with people older than them or like adults in their lives, and that is something to be completely grateful for. But this is Buffalo Futures is workforce development, so we're like basically pruning you guys to be the best professionals that you can be. So in professional settings, is it the same thing? Like, do you stick to those boundaries the same way? And if you're working with people who are older than you, or your colleagues maybe have more seniority than you, how do you assert those same boundaries while remaining professional?
You do it respectfully. I feel like a lot of times people look at younger people and they use that as a moment to be able to belittle them, you know, and it's like you can't take someone's wisdom or their knowledge from them that they produce just because of their age. There are people who can be twice our age and may not know how to operate in the same way that we do in certain rooms. So it's like you can't just say because this person is older than you, they know more, or they can do better, or that they can even check you for where you are or where you're going to, or whatever it is that you're coming at them with. It's about how you do it. Just like they say, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So if you come out just able to demand your respect, but in a respectful way to others, like anytime you have boundaries, respect people. That don't mean, like I said, that don't mean you do it with disrespect, but you have to be able to hear them also. Don't be so quick to speak and then, slow to listen. It got to be the other way around. You have to be quick to listen and then you have to be slow to speak. So it's like, it just has to be an even exchange, but you got to allow them to be heard and you have to ask for them to hear you.
That's perfect. And advocating for yourself is something that you're definitely going to need when you go into a lot of these spaces that we're preparing you for. And so that is some good wisdom there. And she cleared me. Okay.
Again,
she ate down.
Again.
Left no crumbs.
Time after time.
Okay. So the next question is, do you guys feel like there's a good number of resources in your area or for people your age that want to attend college or go into a career path?
I feel we do have a lot of resources. I think the thing is just resources don't reach us all the time, or it's not as in front of our face as it should be for us to keep seeing it and be like, oh, okay, let me take a look at that. Because I didn't know about Buffalo Futures until like my grade told me. And then Buffalo Futures, I met a whole lot of different organizations that can help. So I think as long as you have somebody that knows or somebody who's just willing to give you that information, you'll receive those resources.
Yeah.
For me, at a young age, it's definitely like a lot of resources out there. Like in the school system, we have different conventions, and like we take field trips to convention centers, and it's a college fair, and it's like a room full of colleges just to get information on each college wherever you want to go all around the world. And I just feel like that's cool. And me, like relaying the message, I like to relay the message to others. Like if I know somebody in my family or just somebody that I know want to go to college and I just found out about all of these colleges, I'm going to put them on too.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the exposure. Like we are not exposed to the resources, and that's why we feel like they're lacking. Like that they're not even here, but they are here. They're just not, we're not exposed to them. I think it's definitely not even just on our part, because like if you're like an organization that wants the youth, you got to go to where the youth are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if we want them, we crying out for them. You saying we got it. Well, why don't we see you?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's outreach also on the organization's part into why the youth don't see them.
You feel the same way?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I get that too. Something that Raynelle said really stuck with me. She said it's not reaching us. And so I feel like in my mind that translated to accessibility. And so I feel like, yeah, there are a lot of resources, but are we making it accessible to our youth, and do they know about it? Because sometimes knowledge is the access that you need.
Yeah.
And if we can't educate them about what's available, then they'll never know.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Just as if it's not here.
Right.
It's like, yeah, it's here, but if I don't know about it, then it's really not here.
Right.
Right.
And that's why
Because it ain't gonna help me.
I think it's a good thing that Buffalo Future does their outreach, because then it's able to, like, they go out in different areas, in different settings, they go to different events, and that way it can get across to the youth.
Yeah.
We didn't even pay her to tell you that, y'all. I don't.
Right.
She just, like, you know what I mean? They just speak on good stuff. Like, we don't even gotta pay you to say that. Like,
right? She did that little shameless plug.
I ain't have to throw in an extra few dollars.
She's showing out for this first time.
Period.
So, do you guys feel like you're constantly choosing between your mental health and school? Or do you feel like, does anybody feel like they found that balance to not only maintain their mental health, but also excel in their goals in their career or their goals in education?
I think it's definitely, one is like being young, trying to pursue things that like people in their 60s done achieved, but right now at this age, you know what I mean? Because some people don't reach their peak until 30, 40. You know what I mean? And it's like they finally got it, but it's like we're trying to do that right now. And so it could definitely be a stressor depending on the balance and like the lack of balance. That if you don't create that balance right now, it's going to be like, dang, I got so much to do in this little time. But truly, I think it not only it comes down to time management, but also discipline. Like, you know the goals that you want to reach. Yes. So it's like you have to have the discipline to achieve them. And I think that can help your mental health. But if you do not, it's just, you're going to have big ideas with just big ideas because you won't even be able to complete them because you're just too stressed out.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about discipline. Like, with your mental health and school, like, you got to set like a certain time just for yourself. Like, you got to be willing to sit aside. Of course, your schoolwork is important and it's due when it's due. You got to get it in on time, but you got to focus on yourself also, because if you can't focus on yourself, then you won't be able to focus on your schoolwork either. So you definitely got to find like an even balance between the two, but it is hard.
I get that.
Self-care is key.
It is. Your mentality, if your mental is messed up, you cannot function for nothing. And this is coming from an overthinker. I'm an overthinker, y'all. And if I overthink, I'm bad. Like, Jesus help me. But so it's like your mental is the base of everything. If you can't even think, like, if you can't even have the right mentality to think about what it is that you're going to do, how are you even going to go to pursue it? Your mind is literally the background of everything. Like,
yeah.
And literally, y'all, like, the thing is crazy because just today, like, my dad had called me. I'm just like, oh, he about to talk about this thing again. Leah, you finished that thing yet? And I'm just like, it's working. I'm doing it. He said, I told you, you got, this is the analogy he gave me. He said, you got a pie. Like, you can give the world like 3/4 of your pie, but if you don't keep a slice of that pie to yourself, then you're just gonna be stressed out. Right. And then like, because I'm trying to get it together. Like, I'm trying to take the self-care. He said, no, that's all the world stuff. You ain't give yourself a piece of your pie. Like, this your own pie. This is your world. You create this. And if you don't give yourself, he said, you ain't never gonna get nothing done. You're gonna just be sitting there.
You will burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Literally. If you don't rest, you will burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Like, it'll get bad.
For real.
And I feel like y'all really put an emphasis on self-care, but I also want to switch it up now and ask you, if you're taking care of your mental health, right? You're getting your education stuff done, you're getting your career goals met. How do your friends play into that? Like, do you ever find yourself like, oh, I've been outside too much. I've been talking to somebody too much. I've been just like trying to like basically like escape from like what your career goals are or what your education goals are. Anybody experience that?
Wait.
Well,
No. You
got
ask,
it.
because I'm
No,
going to
you
be
got
asking
it.
a clarifying
Okay,
question
okay,
to what the
okay.
question is.
Okay.
It definitely goes back into discipline. Like
Mhm.
being around your friends, you
Yes.
know, you want to hang out with your friends, have fun, and you got to do schoolwork, and you got to focus on yourself,
Mhm.
and you got to take care of the dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot.
Yes,
So you got
Fido gotta eat.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you really just got to discipline yourself and like set a specific time, like have the set time ahead of time instead of just like planning it last minute or something like that.
Right.
Everything you want to do in life, you're going to need balance for. You're going to have to learn how to balance. It's no way you're going to be able to have a family. I'm talking about going to church, okay?
Period.
In my Bible, making sure that I got to go make sure my businesses is handled. Like all of that stuff, you have to be able to balance. Hanging out with my friends, making sure we still having girl time, all of that stuff is a balance. But I feel like also the friends, and I think it shows a lot like the company that you keep. Because like, for example, like me and Leah, right? Like even my other friends, if we go for however long, like without talking because we're trying to get our stuff together, like it should never be like a distraction of, no, you should be coming outside the party and, oh, you know what I'm saying? Yes, they will tell you when you need a break, but it's a difference between them telling you that you need a break and them trying to distract you from what it is that's important to get done. So it really comes down to the friends too. They should be able to respect your boundaries, and they should be able to understand that you're trying to make a betterment for yourself.
Yeah. Right. And I think as like we're all trying to go to something, life get busy. Yes. And it's like it be weeks and Kayla like, we ain't seen each other. And I'm just like, I know, but we both getting it right now.
Ghost on each other.
Like, and then it just be getting it. But I think too, like with those friends, like I would rather have a friend that I barely see, but we both getting it, than a friend that's like always nagging, but they ain't doing nothing.
Right.
And it's like, that's draining. You like, I'm already drained. You extra draining me. You ain't even telling me no good stuff.
Exactly.
You just telling me how, you know, but the stories be, right?
Wow.
And it just be like, I'm like, oh no, I can't. It's like, I'm already drained. Tell me something good, how you done started this thing. And it's like, just move it. It don't have to be as big as what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your big is still big to me, regardless of how big it is. But it's just that you're moving. You cannot be stagnant around me.
Right.
Because you is not bringing me down there with you. I had to pick myself
up. If they stagnant, they bringing you down there.
Yes. No, and you telling me about your stagnancy. No.
Like, your stagnancy. Oh, God. Not she's saying it like it's a condition. Your stagnancy. And no, but for real, you're really saying like everything to the T. Like, this is exactly like what I'm so proud to be hearing, because I feel like it is a testament to the fact that there are so many people here who believe like Gen Z just don't got it all.
Yeah.
Like it's so many people that just don't believe we don't have it all. They think like we're not able to be professionally developed. They think we don't want to work. And the biggest thing is they think that like we don't have the ability to be social. Like their idea of being a socialite and talking to people and building those genuine relationships may be different than how we perceive it. So that leads into, how do you guys feel about networking in our, like, if you had to gauge your skill set on a level of like 1 to 10, how do you network in spaces like that are dependent on your career or depending on your education? Like I know me personally, I can talk all day. Like I ain't gonna stop. I keep going. But you put CEO Susie Joe in front of me and I'm gonna be like, sat. I'm gonna be sat because I'm gonna be like, ooh, I don't know. Like sometimes I feel like I'm scared. Like is Susie Joe gonna think like I'm in a onesie with my nook in my mouth because I'm so young? Like, because I don't know if she'll hear me. So I wanted to know, like, how do y'all navigate networking? And on a scale of 1 to 10, like, where's your skill set on talking to professionals and really putting yourself out there?
For me, I think like my friends always say like it's really good that I have this personality trait, but I don't have like being embarrassed is not a trait that I have. Period. Like there's nothing that I can do and I feel like, oh, I'm embarrassed now, or I'll get that weird thing. So it's like I don't necessarily know how to even code switch because I don't know how to be embarrassed. It's like, oh, whatever I say is not going to embarrass me, and it's like I'm going to say it with boldness and courage. So like I think even with navigating, like we just went to the Buffalo Club and Jill was like, Leah, and I'm like, they loved it. I'm like, these people shaking my hand, and they was the ones being congratulated. I said they was loving this personality. There's nothing I can't stop being myself. It doesn't matter how much money you got because I'm going to have it too.
Period.
You know what I mean?
So you scaling yourself at a 10.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Still though, because I'm just like, you got to know what to say at the right time type stuff. And so like, that's just what I'll give myself a nice 8.5. Okay. Just being that like, okay, I haven't reached the amount of experience or education as you have yet. So you're definitely seniority, right? And I respect you for that because it took some time. You know what I mean? I'm still new to this. And so I think too that we have to know like, it's not to put ourselves down, but like there's growth. Right. And so that's what I feel.
Cool. Anybody else want scale of 1 to 10? Keith Lee. Let's go.
I'd say like maybe a 7.
A 7? Why you say
maybe
that?
like a 6.5, 7. And that's just honestly speaking because it brings me back to overthinking. So I'll have it all put together like, okay, yep, this is this is that, this is this, you know what I'm saying? And I know what it is that I want to speak about, or I know what it is that I can bring to the table. But like you said, sometimes you get in front of that person and it's like, okay, hold on. So now my mind is rambling. I'm like, okay, now do I say this like this? Am I supposed to, like, did I say that? And then after you speak it, it's like, did I say that correct? It's like kind of just that overthinking factor that comes into play. But other than that, I feel like you kind of just got to be headstrong when you go into those rooms, when you're around those people. You got to have confidence. You have to be able to be bold and courageous. Like, you got to be like, okay, I got this. Like, I know, like, and if there's anything, so say you do speak something and you feel like it wasn't sufficient enough, that just means that you got to grow in that area. That's all.
Say that.
Literally. That don't mean, like Leah said, don't go home and beat yourself up about it. It's okay. I see where I messed up at, or I see where I should have did better at. You just go home and all you do is reflect on that. Not in a bad way, not in a negative way, but you reflect on it and you help it make you grow. Literally, perseverance. You keep going, you learn from it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, scared money don't make no money, y'all. So that's one thing I learned. You have to open your mouth because closed mouths don't get fed. And I feel like be yourself. So a lot of times, like when I was nervous about speaking to somebody, I felt like it was because I felt like I had to learn who the other person I was supposed to show up as was. Like, oh, I gotta be this person that's just
yourself.
Like, no, be yourself, be professional, but like put yourself out there. Like, and that will really like show somebody like if they want to like have a real genuine relationship with you or not, because they'll see that glimpse of your real self and be like, I'm stay connected to that.
Because if you fake, you got to show up fake every time. Now you done created that. And it's like, I
don't want to set the standard of fake.
I can't.
I'm going to keep up with it. It's going to fail me every time.
Right.
That's real. And then you speaking about a truth you're speaking your truth. How are you going to speak your truth and you're faking it? You can't, that don't go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be yourself. You have no choice but to be open. And they're going to accept you. If they're going to accept you, they're going to accept you. And if they not, then they not.
You got to be, and it's like, once you stand on something, like,
stand on business. I want to hear from this couch though, so let me know. Like, scale of 1 to 10, Keith Lee, where are you on your networking skills? And do you feel comfortable networking in certain spaces?
I would say I'm about 7.5, 8. You just got to go in there knowing what you want. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you know what you want, then it'll like help you. It'll help guide you better. Cause then you already know like, oh, I want this, that, and the third. If I'm talking to them, I'm gonna let them know what I am, what I do, and where I'm trying to go, and they could see where they can help you at. You know, and you just gotta
where you fit in.
Yeah, like your environment. Like if you wanna make content, then you gotta tap into people that do videography and people that take pictures, you know what I'm saying? So you can get them to take your pictures. And if they your friends, then you know they'll put you on to stuff that they get in also, and y'all both will be winning.
Period.
Me, I would say I still struggle with networking just because, like Kayla, I overthink a lot, or I'll be like, okay, how do I want to approach this? But then it also, at work, like my whole job is approaching people, trying to get you to buy something. So like,
get that money.
Also being like able to see a person and be like, okay, let me see how I'm gonna approach them, or how are they feeling? Like match that energy, but also bring a good energy to it, because you don't want to ever approach nobody with a bad attitude or a bad feeling. You want to come in there preparedness and confidence.
That's right.
Period.
I totally get that. Yes. Period, y'all. I'm proud of y'all.
We doing it,
y'all up there on a scale of 1 to 10. I ain't hear no low numbers. Y'all all got a passing grade. Period. I love
we got A's in school.
Oh my gosh.
So do you feel like I know like we spent a large amount of time talking about friends. So let's circle back and let's talk about support. Because a lot of times, like Leah said, we can have the wrong people in our circle. And we got to know, like, when we have to elevate ourselves or even like do some pruning in our environment and just be like, I need some better vibes.
Yeah.
So currently where you are now, and you just stated all of your goals to me and what you guys do you feel like you have friends around you, peers around you that support your career goals and support your education goals?
I would definitely say yes. Just yesterday, my friend, we at the end of our day, we always come together. How was your day? And she was like, I was just doing stuff. And she was like, how you been doing working towards your career goals and stuff like that? And I was like, I just had a success coach meeting and like I'm feeling good about where I'm heading and stuff like that. So just having somebody that's always gonna be accountable, hold you accountable.
Yeah.
My friends are in college, like they're always sending us like, oh, I just got an A on this test. I'm always like, congratulations, like that's really good. Like, oh, I just got an 80, but 80 is still passing. That's still, like just being uplifting, always encouraging it. And even if you do have that one friend who, you know, I might not be able to say this to this person or just share this with this person because I know they don't react or it doesn't benefit me in a way to let them know. I think that's also setting up a boundary you need to have as well.
And I want to go off that. That was perfect. I want to make my next question off what you just said. You inspired me. I want everybody to go around and I want you to tell me something that you would tell another aspiring professional if they felt like they were kind of like stagnant in their career or education goals. Like, what's that one thing you would say if you were like, you got something more to do? Like, it's more after this. Something inspirational.
I got you. You know what the tables do?
I got you. I'm scared. Out of my mind. Okay.
You know what the tables do? They turn.
Period.
The table's always gonna turn. And so it's like, I know where you at right now, but the thing is like, you have a goal and let's just work to achieve it. Let's see, not just the ideal, but like, let's talk out the ideal and how we're going to move. Because a lot of times, like I said before, we can have big ideals, but if you do not know the steps you're going to take to get there, then it's just a big ideal. And so I think talking with them on what is the idea you have, how can we get you there? To, you know what I mean? So like it enlightens them, right? And then encourages them, like, oh, I don't have to stay here too much, like much longer, or even stay here at all. Like I can begin moving today, right now. You know what I mean? So I just letting them know that they're not going to always be here. You know what I mean? It's like, but help them also like move and or get them the resource or to connect them to the right people. Because a lot of like we're young but there's people out there that are working in different careers or different jobs that can help them right now. Whether we could just help them with talk, but they can actually do the walk with them. You know what I mean? So just connecting them to whoever they need to be connected to get them started.
Yeah. So the table's always gonna turn. That's for Leah. Let's throw it back to Mikey. You got something to say?
Okay. You're not always gonna be up.
Oh,
that. You definitely gonna have your downs.
Ooh, one-liners.
Wow.
And you gotta learn from them. Like it's okay to be down sometimes because being down can help you come up 2 times harder. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going through something, make sure you focus on yourself. See what it is, what you really want to do, and just make sure that you striving to achieve that goal by yourself.
Like that. I would say celebrate your wins. Always celebrate your wins. Don't every win, whether big or small, is a win. I feel like always celebrate that. And then celebrate it, have your time, and then now think about what you want to do next. What about your last one did you learn that you could apply to the next one that you're trying to get? And like you said, you're always gonna have ups and downs. Don't get discouraged.
Yeah. I feel like I always say you cannot be successful without being uncomfortable. So uncomfortability is going to come with success. But it's like if you stay in a place where you're comfortable at anyways, if you continue to do the same thing, how much further do you think that you're going to get? So it's like a lot of times when we think about moving forward in life, or a lot of times when we think about setting goals, it's like, okay, but I might have to go through this to get there, or I might have to do this to get there. But it's like, you're going to have to anyways. It's literally like a race. Like you're going to have to continue to run. There's going to be times in a race where you get tired. There's going to be time in a race where you're like, okay, well, I don't even know if I'm going to make it. But it's like those uncomfortable feelings should be something that helps you, literally moves you, like, into perseverance. So it's like you can't it's like when you're trying to go forward, you can't think about the what ifs, because the what ifs will make you stay at a standstill, because
Right.
you will literally start to be like, okay, what if this happened? What if that happened? All right, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, you know? And it's like, you have to be able to keep going even through those things. Like perseverance is really key. Like you have to learn that, because if you do not learn that, you will stay there. So it's like, you gotta know that, like Mikey said, like there's gonna be ups and downs. You're never always gonna be up. Like storms are gonna come. Like literally, you might have rain today and you might have sun tomorrow. You might have rain for 4 days and you might have sun on the 5th day. You know, but you don't know that. And that's another thing. You can't predict your future. So it's like, instead of even trying to jump ahead, just focus on where you are now and continue to take steps. And just like what Raynelle said, you have to be able to count your wins. So it's like, okay, I did that thing. Let me see what's next. You know what I'm saying? But even when you can't see what's next, you have to literally walk by faith and not by sight.
Yes.
So it's like, you can't see what's next, but you already have it made
Say
up in
that.
your mind of where you want to go. So it's like, you don't even have to take a big jump. You might just have to take just a step. And it's just like, for you to end up going to that kingdom or that palace that you're trying to get to, it comes by steps. Sometimes you might have to crawl. Sometimes you might have to jump. You don't know, but you just got to be able to keep going no matter what is coming at you, and you got to be uncomfortable in it.
Okay. Okay. Like, dang.
She said it all.
She
good.
came
That was a
to
good
my
closure.
house. She rang my
Like,
doorbell.
doorbell? She opened my
And
car
she knocked
door.
on that joint like the police. And you spoke to me. So I know she's speaking to y'all. So
Yes.
that was my final question for this segment. I want to thank y'all so much. It was so much wisdom here, and y'all don't even know the amount of people that you're going to inspire when they watch this. So, like, thank you for your vulnerability, and thank you for your honest truth. Like, there's nothing like it, and I want y'all to keep being y'all and keep me being me. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you guys for watching this part 1 segment, but keep your kettle on the heat, honey, because we about to pour this tea, and it's going to be good.
Hi, my name is Trell Mason. I'm the Senior Director of Buffalo Futures. I'm here just to shout out one of our sponsors, Best Self Behavioral Health, which is actually the largest mental health, behavioral health agency here in Western New York, with a host of programs ranging from adolescents to senior age, over 90 different programs in 70 locations. I just want to thank them for their generosity to Buffalo Futures, as well as to myself and the community. For more information, please see bestselfwny.org.
Welcome back to segment 2 of Buffalo Futures Getting Ahead podcast. And today we getting into the real tea, honey. Lipton, all of that. We gonna talk about relationships, and we gonna make sure that we give y'all the real tea about what we be thinking. So if you ever want to get a little insight into what the youth think they got going on, we finna tell you.
Ooh.
All right, y'all. So let's start this off with, what is a relationship? Period. Overall.
A commitment.
Ooh.
Okay.
A love exchange.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. What's your one-liner, Kayla?
I got to think about that, because I got about a 10.
Because you know she's finna preach. Anybody who saw that first segment, y'all already know she's trying to say the sermon right now.
I'm going to say support system.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Support system.
That's good.
I'm going to say understanding, comprehension.
That's deep. I think that's
Period.
deep.
2-word alignment.
I would say, I'm gonna throw my little 2-piece in there and back out, you know.
Do
I would say investment. Definitely.
That's strong.
Okay, we all can't be Will
Sacrifice.
Smith in here.
Really
Everybody
sacrifice. Kayla said sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice.
That is good. Okay. So how do you think past relationships in your life has affected you moving forward? Like, is there anything or any relationship that you've had with any individual, a friend, a partner, that has changed where you are today?
You can't trust everybody.
Yeah.
You
Trust
cannot
no man.
All right,
Okay.
A Boogie.
Okay. But yeah, you can't trust everybody. You gotta, like, it's only certain people that you could tell certain things, and like, you should know who they are, because if you don't and you tell them the wrong thing, then the word get out, and now you like, dang, I shouldn't have told you that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now you screw. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you just gotta build a bond, like find where they're at in their head, so
Right.
that you know how to move forward with them.
Yeah. It's definitely about discernment. I get that.
I think along with what Mikey said, like, not only can you not trust everybody, but because people are just not you. You know what I mean? Like the way that you would do things, it's like, oh, I would have never lied to you. Or like even, I would never played you with you like that. Like, why did you do that to me? You know what I mean? Like people are not, they don't love like you do. And so it's like knowing that like as you walk into those different like relationships, friendships, it's like, dang, this person has the possibility like to hurt me. Because they may not love like the way that I do, right? And it's like just knowing that from previous, it's like, dang, you're not a good person. Right. And I would have never, but you not me. You know what? So I'm
that's expectations.
Yeah.
You can't hold people to your own expectations because when you do that, it's just like nobody can fail you if you did not hold them to an expectation already. But the thing about that is when somebody show you who they are the first time, please believe them. It don't even mean like it doesn't even have to be anything negative. That don't only go for negative things. Just all the way around. If there's something that they do that you feel like you, first of all, pay close attention. But if it's something that they do that you know, like you kind of question or you think about, it's like take heed to it. Now, don't know the wrongdoings, but just take heed to it, you know? And it's like moving forward in your future relationships from your past relationships. Another thing is what the person in your past did to you, do not put that on the person in the future. You cannot carry your past traumas into your new relationships because a lot of times that will fail the relationship all the way around, you know? So it's kind of like, just be careful and make sure you pay attention. Just make sure you pay attention. Not even just to negative, to the positives too. Literally, pay attention.
Pay attention. Pay close attention. Shoot. Raynelle, you want to put some input on here?
I was gonna say always be okay with saying goodbye.
I'm so sorry.
That hurt my chest.
Please let me be reminded they can't sit on the same couch because all in the mics over here is. I know that's messing up the frequency. I know it is. Now, Raynelle. She was saying something good about like not being afraid to say goodbye. Now it was good, but dang, y'all good. Can you expound on that and tell us some more and give us some more insight on how you got to that perspective?
I feel like based off of a relationship, like I've known a person for so long, you grow with them, like that person literally like know you, like literally seeing you grow up, and I say sometimes a part of that growing up is being able to let that person go and let in a new, or just learn how to operate on your own in a way too. I feel like that's a problem that I had, is I was with this person for so long and I'm used to their support system, interacting with them all the time, that when they wasn't there no more, I was like, dang, I don't get that same interaction that I had anymore. So being able to say goodbye and leave it in a loving way, even if it's some dislike towards a person anyway, I say still leave in a loving way and also go into something else like open-minded or welcoming as well.
And I think like with what you said, but like on the lighter note, because like we like shared like the bad to like leaving, but like the support. It's like because of past relationships and like just friendships though, and like the support that we had with each other, like how we encourage each other, that's now like a standing, like that's a non-negotiable, like in new relationships, in new friendships, that it has to be the standard. That's like, oh no, what you mean we friends? And you like that's rude, that's weird. I'm not hanging with that.
Boundaries.
And it's like that's the standard of now new relationships because of past, like. You know what I mean? Because the good in them, it's like not that like we left off on bad terms or anything, but it's like that was a standard that was brought into it.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the standard plays into the fact of how much you know yourself and what your personal boundaries are and what you'll go for and what you're not going to go for.
Yeah.
So how do y'all think it's important to like really like be firm in yourself and have that self-identity before you even try to pursue a relationship?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay,
you
one accord.
Yes, like you can.
That was harmony.
Oh my gosh.
Unison.
When I say there is no way you can go into a relationship without knowing yourself. Because say you get into that relationship and you don't know yourself, right? And like Raynelle said, when you leave, you got so caught up in that person. But it's like, if you go into that relationship, you don't know yourself. When you leave, the only thing you're going to know is how they seen you. You won't be able to see yourself for who you truly are. And then it's like, it brings us back to boundaries. You have to be able to sit by yourself. You have to be able to go in that place of, okay, what do I like? What do I like? What don't I like? You know? So when you go to that person, it's like, okay, I noticed that I don't like this, but they're doing it. I do like this and they're doing it. You know, you have to be able to know yourself. Like, it starts within, because if not, you're going to walk in there and you're going to be blind. So the only thing you're going to see is what they offer to give you. You're not going to be able to see something that should have already been there in the first place, you know?
Right.
And then it's like certain things won't be a non-negotiable for you. So it's like, you have to be able to have that self-love, because if you don't have that self-love, then it's like, that would just completely, like, that will completely ruin everything, you know, because you're going in and you're depending on that person to love you. You're depending on their love. But then when they leave, or when y'all have to depart, then it's like you're broken. But if you go in there and you know yourself, it's like, no, I know me. You know what I'm saying? So if you leave, you probably did bring something to me, but you're not taking my whole from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably already added to my whole, but when you leave, I'm still going to be whole. I'm still going to be, you know, like.
Right.
That's good.
Remaining yourself and being like secure in who you are and what you desire out of a relationship. But since you coming with that wisdom, and you was like, well, you have to know what you like, what you don't like, and what you know, how do you communicate that though? Because one thing I will say though is, like, going into a relationship, it should never be like a landmine. Like, you should be able to freely communicate about anything without somebody just like completely attacking you and you being blown away, right? So like, how do you communicate in relationships to like make it more sustainable for where you see the relationship going, or just like, you know, contribute to it being healthy?
I feel like those are conversations that you need to sit down and have in the beginning, you know? So that comes in the dating stage. You allow that person to tell you what they like and what they don't like, and you can tell them in an exchange. But sometimes I know, especially in this generation, they're like, no, I'm not telling this person what I like and what I don't like. And I get that too, because sometimes when you do that, you can be giving a person a to-do list, right? So say I go in there and say, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, but I do like this and I do like this, right? But that person, that's not who that person is, but they feel obligated to do that because they want to keep you, and that's what you came to them with. So a lot of times you do have to openly and freely just allow people to do what they're going to do, to see what they're going to do. And if they do something that you don't like, you express that, you know, or if it's something that you feel like is very major that you're going to need to express before you go into the relationship, then you talk about that. But you just kind of, I don't want to say you have to be careful, but you don't want to give nobody a to-do list and then they start operating off that to-do list, because then further down the line, when they stop doing those things, it's like, well, why did you stop doing those things? Did you stop caring about me? Do you not like me anymore? And it's like, no, that was never them in the first place. So it's like they were only operating off of that because that's what you gave them. That's what you came to them with. But if you would allow to see them for who they truly were, then it's like you wouldn't have to go through those things. You can just simply express like, okay, when they did that, I didn't really like that, you know? But you also got to be open-minded to them too. And some people might want to go and pour the whole list out about don't do this, don't do that, which is important because those are boundaries. But you just gotta know the difference between boundaries and telling somebody what you want them to do. I think that's where it comes at. Like,
and I think
go ahead.
No, I think also people rush into relationships too quick.
They do.
And that's like the basis is already wrong. You know what I mean? I think, like you said, the dating stage, but I even think further into the friend stage, like you should be friends with them, right? Because like the way that I've seen that you communicate with a person you're in a relationship with in an argument is different than the way you communicate with a friend in an argument. Like if me and Kayla got into it, which I don't think we ever have, but if we get into it, it's gonna be like, okay, well, you state what you want, I state what I want, and there's nothing like no big wings about to argue like this big old thing, our whole world about to come crashing down. But all of a sudden, it's in a past relationship, and it's like y'all going back and forth, all this rage in the room. It's like I would never do that to a friend. You know what I mean? Like I would have never screamed at Kayla. So it's like, why in the heck would I get into a relationship and scream at them, think that's okay when I would have never done that? You know what I mean? But I think it's because you were never friends first, or even if you were, you forgot that friendship because now you're together. And I think that's why you got to remember, like, no, they're my friend before they were anything else. But if you don't build that friendship, then it's like, oh, you strangers that just jumped into a relationship, probably off less. But the thing is,
okay, well, put your teacup up because I'm finna get in your business. Put your teacup up. Pinkies. Let me ask you something.
Sip.
Is that a lesson you learned in your own relationship?
Poor babe. Poor babe. Poor.
Let's talk about mistakes.
Say that.
What do you think is a mistake that you committed in your last relationship that you're willing to change in your next one?
This couch.
That was
This
deep,
couch,
wasn't
this
it?
Yeah.
Just throwing them at you. Curveball. Yes.
Communication.
Ooh.
Yeah, you just got to work on communication and like understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to see their point of view too. Like you got to see yourself in their shoes and
Yep.
look at what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And just imagine how they would feel and what would you want somebody to do differently if you were in that situation, so you know how to move forward with them in the future.
That's dope. Yeah, let's go around. I want to get in all y'all business.
I think
Mhm.
I think it has been easy for me to state a boundary, not easy for me to actually act on it. You know what I mean? Like
Enforce it.
Yes. And
Gotcha.
that it's like, because literally, like I said, before I get into the situation, I'll talk myself. I'm like, this what you gonna say? This what? So I'm like, oh, I said it. I said everything I need to say. And then it comes to the time where I gotta actually be like, listen, you
About it.
cutting real close. I act like all of a sudden. And it's like, I think it would be like with the expectations. I would, because I stated it, I expect you to respect them. But since I seen there was a lack of like respect and there was disrespect, it's like something is like inside of me not to say it. And so I think that has been like a thing in the past where it's like, dang, like Leah, you said it. But since they're like acting like they didn't hear you or something, now that the time has come for the boundary to actually see what's going to happen, you know, like actually enforce it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, now I got to just leave you alone because you just don't listen.
But I think that is the boundary. Like, I think sometimes people only come up with half the plan for boundary setting. Boundary setting is not just you telling somebody what you won't go for. Boundary setting is saying, if you do this, this will be the consequence. So you're responsible for the consequence because you've already set the boundary. That's like me saying, Leah, if you step on my toe, I might lift the pinky up. You know what I'm saying? So if you keep stepping on my toe and I never lift the pinky up, that's on me.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
and it's I can't
like,
blame
it's about
them.
focusing on those consequences. So
Yeah.
like even when you're sharing them, I would say a tip for me is when I set a boundary with some person, I tell them what to expect. If you keep talking to me like this, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. If this conversation goes on, I'm going to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, oh, you keep talking, boop, boop, boop.
Yes.
And that's just what it is.
That's good.
Now we at Kayla.
Standing on
I know
business.
she gonna give us something good.
I feel like I definitely agree with what Leah said about boundaries. When you say something to a man or a woman, but for us, for a man, because they take that literal. They take that as if, oh, I got away with it once, I can get away with it again. And it's like, no. And that goes with even friendships. That goes with families. When you literally say something like, I don't like this or I don't like that, and somebody continues to do it to me, that's disrespect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they're only going to do what you allow though.
Yeah.
But as far as relationships, like, well, it could be either or platonic or the other. But I feel like as far as relationships from my past, fear of leaving the person, you know, and I think that brings me back to knowing yourself, because when you have already sat alone, when you already know what it feels like to be alone, you have so much respect and so much love for yourself that you won't allow anyone to disrespect you. You won't allow anyone to just be in your presence just because it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because I can be comfortable by myself. And then even recently, like currently what I'm going through, comprehension, like Mikey said, I used to a lot of times in my old relationships be like, comprehension is like one of my love languages. So I always say, like, if I ever date somebody or something, like, you got to understand where I'm coming from, no matter if it's minor or if it's major. But that happened to me recently where I was the one in the position where it was like, I wasn't comprehending, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't understanding. To me, it was like, it's not that big of a deal, or it's not that serious. And they're like, how isn't it when I've expressed this to you? And that's something that I don't like. So I feel like it's not being double standard, you know, like you got to be able to really be understanding with people, and whatever you expect, like whatever you look at somebody and say, I want you to do that, you got to be able to give it yourself.
Yes.
Period.
Put up your cup. I got a
Come on. All right, y'all. I got 2 more questions, then we out of here. We're going to say our farewell. So let's talk about non-negotiables, right? We done talked about communicating. We done talked about boundaries, what we will and won't go for, honey. So let's get into it. You meet somebody and they are the perfect person, but it's just that one thing. What is it? And you just can't take it.
This is like only relationships or friendships and family and all of that too.
Relationships, like who you got a relationship, your friend, your family, that they do that one thing and you like, that was it. Thank you. I done blew them away with that one.
Lying.
Oh, you said lying?
Lying.
That's good.
Like, just be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be hurt with the truth than you lie and I find out later and I'm even more hurt. You know, you just tell the truth, be straight up. It is what it is. You touch my cookies? No. I caught you on camera. Why are you lying?
The ring light.
I know you ate my food. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, lying is a big one. I don't know why I was thinking on a real general, like hygiene. But
no, that's
fine.
Because why do you smell like Sauvage and Subway?
Like, you just woke up this morning.
I don't like that.
Already musty? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What did you do through the night?
What did you do this morning?
Yeah.
Like, why is onions your washcloth? I don't understand.
Like, how you?
Wait, did you go?
Wait, my other one was gonna say, I don't like to repeat myself a lot.
Yes.
So if it's something where I mentioned to you once, okay, I'll try and fix it. Boom, you say you try and fix it, then I mentioned it again. You do the same thing again. Okay, I said it one time, maybe you ain't get it. If I gotta keep saying it, like, I don't like that. You should know, like, give it attention when I first address it, because if you're gonna do it 5 times later, then I'm already like gone.
Right. Okay.
Kayla,
Kayla, you go ahead, because I know you're going to preach, so let's keep it short and sweet. Amen?
Amen.
I feel like communication and how your reaction, your responses to things, because I'm such a communicative person. Not to say that sometimes I could not be, but it depends. Like, I'm not going to always shut someone out, you know? So the moment that I'm expressing something to you, I have like this thing where it's like, you can make me feel abandoned very easily, very quickly, you know? So it's like, if I am expressing myself to you, if I'm opening up to you about something, this brings me back to comprehension. That's why that's one of my love languages, because you may not understand where I'm coming from. You may not be able, may not agree with it, but I still need you to understand. I still need you to take it into consideration, you know? So I feel like that's a big one, like communication. Like, if I'm talking to you about something and you closing your ears to me, or you're responding or reacting in a certain way, whether you're doing it or not, whether you're ignorant to the fact, it's still, like Raynelle said, if I mention it to you, now you know. But if you just can't communicate, if you get angry and you shut out every 2 seconds, I can't deal with that, because I'm one of them people where it's like, I want to sit down and have a conversation. I love to resolve stuff. I can't hold grudges. I'm an emotional being. Like, I want to sit down and talk to my partner about whatever it is that we need to discuss. So if you can't communicate, that's it for me. I can't.
Okay.
You can't go to sleep mad.
What's your non-negotiable?
Mine would be, and I think it covers like everything for me. It's like your inability to love, like, covers it all for me. Cause like, one, my dad always taught me, he's like, Leah, if they don't love them, how could they ever love you, right?
Yeah.
And I can see that in the way that you treat yourself. So it's like, oh. And it's like, the only way you're going to love me is it's going to be perverted in a way, because you truly haven't even really known self-love to know love to me. But it's like, I think with everything, like with the communication, like, if you truly love me, you will communicate with me. If you truly love me, you'll want to see my standpoint and like my side, right? If you truly love me, you wouldn't even come around me smelling like that, like what Raynelle said.
Oh my gosh.
I'm joking. Anyway,
no, that's right.
I'm not. But the thing is, because it's like, I like when I said with the friendship, it's like, I would never do that to you because I love you, right?
Yes.
And it's like, that has to be the basis of our friendship, relationship, family.
So
it's
it has
like,
to be reciprocated.
Yes.
So if they don't
like,
reciprocate that love, it's a non-negotiable.
yeah, it's like, because I would never.
I agree with
it's
that.
to love, and it's like, it don't even need to be like necessarily not necessarily saying to me, but to other people too. You can't just say with me like, oh, I'm gonna communicate, but not with your family. You acting all like, oh no, I don't want no.
She getting deep.
I don't want no.
She's hitting on all the points, y'all. She's hitting on reciprocity. She's hitting on integrity. She's hitting on empathy. All of them things. So tread lightly when you step to her. Okay. All right, y'all done learned. Okay. Now we don't reach the end, y'all, but I have one more thing for y'all. Okay. Let's leave on a light note.
Okay.
Let's go around and let's share a relationship that you know of or an experience that you had that was positive and has impacted your life in such a way. So, has somebody's marriage inspired you? Has somebody's work relationship inspired you? Like, what's a beneficial relationship that you've seen in your lifetime that inspires you still to this day?
I would say my father's relationship with God, and there's my parents as a whole. I think watching them, they worked well together even through the ups and downs. And just like marriage, I believe in marriage, so it's a commitment. You're gonna persevere and stay strong through the end. I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah.
Wait, could I be in a relationship? Like, and could I be one of the people in the ones that I love?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say like me and my dad. Like, I just love our relationship. Nothing to like my mom or nothing, but I'm a daddy's girl, like literally. And I think it's because of just like how the way that he brought me up. Yeah. And it's like I could really tell you anything. And like there's no like condemnation, there's no judgment. Like he truly like lived through it all. And so I just love like him. And it's like how much he's been through, but like how he literally survived it all. And it's like, oh no, if you could do it, that and the whole thing, he's like, his whole thing is like, I made enough mistakes for me and you. Yeah. So you don't need to make them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you learn from the mistakes I made.
So he took you under his wing.
And yes, with everything. Like literally just teaching me step by step. And I'm just like, oh yeah, this is, I love our relationship. Like I told you, I just got off the phone with him. And he pushes me to self-love. He hates everything besides like if you're not self-loving, it's like, oh, you doing
it. So you your daddy's daughter. Yeah. All right, that wraps up everything. Okay, Mikey. Yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely my parents' relationship, and me and my one friend, they're a photographer, and like we could just communicate with each other on like different things that's happening, because you know we both do all our stuff individually. Like I edit my own videos and come up with all the stuff, and so does she. And coming together and talking about it, being able to express yourself and getting the knowledge from other people on how they feel about stuff, I feel like it's just like a great way to connect with somebody.
Kayla, you want to wrap us up?
I feel like number one, it would be the relationship that I had with my mom, because she was like persevering even through everything that she was going through. Like it was so much. And then though she was going through things, though like there were people that were still mistreating her, like through her sickness and stuff like that, she never like was mean to anybody. She was never mean. She was never disrespectful. She didn't like curse. Like she was like really a God-fearing woman. And so me looking back on that, and then how she treated me, which is like a whole bunch of love, like a whole bunch of respect. So it was like me looking back on that, it's like that's something that as far as like myself and like my work ability, because and she was like a workaholic. So it's like just me, it's just kind of like it gives me that push, like to be able to walk in faith no matter what it is that you're facing. And then I feel like another relationship would be me and Leah relationship, as far as like our God-fearing relationship. Like she holds me accountable to a lot of things, and it's like a friendship where it's like, even though sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I do not want to tell Leah this because this girl gonna go off like she my mama. But like, you know, I tell her because it's a safe space, and I know that whatever she tells me, whether it's uncomfortable or not, is coming genuinely like from within. And I feel like marriage, Sarah Jakes Roberts and her husband. Period. I'm just saying, I'm just saying that's great for marriage, because
marriage is beautiful.
And she talked about how when she talked about a part basically in the interview about when she was like still a little girl going through trauma when she met her husband. She had that inside of her, and when she met him, it like all kind of like surfaced out, and then they still together, like they made it through. That's a God-fearing relationship for me.
I appreciate that. Well, thank you guys all again for your vulnerability. It is none like it, and I'm so grateful. So before we pack up around here, honey, let's talk about this book. Today, our book is The Other Black Girl. This book is written by Zakiya Delilah Hurst. Wow, I can't see her last name. Zakiya Delilah.
Harris is on the side.
Harris.
Mike.
Yes. Zakiya Delilah Harris. And we're going to make that look cute. Period. And this book was presented by Second Chapter Bookstore. So hit them up if you want to read books like this and many others. I am your host, Nia Warren. I am so excited to have all these lovely people here today. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Raynelle, Kayla, and our girl, Leah. But y'all know her. Anyways, y'all. We'll see you in the future. Have a great one.
Peace out.